I'm building this edge guide using 3/4 inch plywood. Now I think solid wood could work, but plywood is more stable. It doesn't change size as much. Now I start off by cutting a 6 by 24 inch piece. This is going to be for the router holder. For the router holder, you can see here a router base just fits on the end of it. So I'm just going to trace it out and then cut the router holder down so it fits flush with the router base. Now for attaching the router base to the router holder, I'm just simply screwing it down. You could use bolts if you wanted to underneath, bolting to the base, but this works perfectly fine. Next I need a 6 by 12 bottom plate. There's going to be a few components here for adjusting the distance from a guide to the router. The next piece I need here is a 3 by 12 top plate. Now this is going to fit on the opposite side of the router holder from the bottom plate that I just cut out. And to connect these, I'm going to have to cut out 2 side guides. These are going to be 3 by 6 inches. How these work is the bottom plate just goes underneath the router holder, and then the 2 side guides just go on the side of that, and then it's capped off with the top plate. So the side guides keep it straight as you adjust the distance. Now I need a knob on the top plate so I can lock this in place when I get the right distance. So I'm adding a threaded insert, and I'm starting off by recessing just a little bit of space because the threaded inserts I use have a head. And then I'm drilling out the rest of it with just a 5/16 bit, which happen to match the threaded inserts I use. Moving on to assembly, I'm starting with the base plate and the 2 side guides, and what I'm doing here is gluing and brad nailing these in place. And I'm starting with one because that way I can sandwich the other against the router holder, getting a nice snug fit so it doesn't rock back and forth. For attaching the top plate, I'm actually just going to use screws. I'm not going to glue it like the other pieces because this way, if I need to replace parts, it's going to be way easier to take it apart. As you can see, it's a little sticky, so it doesn't hurt to lubricate this because the knob is really what holds it in place. So whether you wax it or do anything else, that should be fine. To test it out, I'm using a spiral bit because I primarily made this to help with dados. Now, something I'm still considering that would be nice is adding an adhesive tape measure, because that way you could quickly adjust this to whatever distance you wanted without measuring, but this will work just fine for now.